I am so excited to share this project with you guys. This is day 4 of the 12 days of gifts, and today I'm going to show you guys how to do these key fob wristlets. I think I've shown this to you guys maybe once before, but I wanted to kind of do a quick review and show you guys how I make them. So the key fob wristlets are really just something that you can put on your wrist, attach your keys. You can hook them anywhere. They're really easy to do and they're handy to have. So you kind of keep your keys in order. So of course I start off with my Pellon 809. I get this thing by the bolt because I use it on so much. It is one-sided fusible, which means you put it up against your fabric, whatever that is, and then you go ahead and iron it down and it will adhere to your fabric. That gives it a little bit of stability. Now, if you're not sure of interfacing or you don't have Pellon 809, you can absolutely use any kind of lightweight interfacing. So what I do is I use a 12 inch by 4 inch piece of fabric and the same interfacing. Now you can cut both of them the same size. I've been right here, I'm showing you, I just put my interfacing on some scrap pieces I had that were a little larger than a 12 by 4 inches. So I'm just having to cut those down. Either way you do it, if you put it on first or if you cut them down to size later, whatever works for you, go ahead. We are going to fold these once we're done, what my students call hot dog style, so lengthwise. Once we've got them ready, we're going to fold them in half the long way. So if you have directional fabric, you want to keep that in mind. And then we're also going to fold it in half again, one more time, and then fold the whole thing together. So it is originally 4 inches. It comes down to 1 inch is what you're left with. So what you're going to do is then you're just going to top stitch both sides of that. So you're going to go here, I'm just showing you real quick. See, I've got the interfacing folded and I just clip them shut until I'm ready to sew them. Now, when you're ready, you just sew down either of the long sides. You need to do both sides. I always start off with the one that's open still, and then the side that's folded I do last. I'm going to go ahead and chain stitch here, which means I'm going to go and stitch the one and then directly after that stitch the next one. I don't have to back stitch because eventually we're going to sew those end pieces together. So we're not going to worry about these sewn stitches coming apart. So then I flip it over and then I go down the other side. I'm doing about a little less than a 1/4 inch here because I don't want to go too far into the middle of the fabric because I do want you to be able to see the design of the fabric itself. And here with these pandas, I'm using gray thread just so it gives it a little bit of pop of color up against that darker fabric. You do want to make sure you get all the threads out of the way. You don't want them to kind of peek out when we put the hardware on. So then you decide which side you want on the inside, which side on the outside. You fold it in half, and then I go ahead and stitch these closed. Some people here use craft glue to make sure it stays pretty stable. I've never had a problem with them coming apart if I just sew them shut right here. Now, while this is a beginner-friendly project, because at this point we haven't done anything too crazy, you do need to plan ahead on this because you are going to use some hardware. So make sure you have this on hand. Of course, my hardware I store in a shoebox. That's just the way I roll. You can order this from Amazon. Just look up key fob hardware, and it does come with those nice pliers. Now, the ones I got is a set with 3 different kinds. I have black and silver and like a burnished copper. And then I just decide which one works, what color works best with my fabric design. This one, I believe I chose the silver. And now this hardware has like these little grooves in it that you put it in and it'll kind of hook on these little tiny hooks. So when you're ready, you just use the pliers to kind of close it up. I always check and make sure that it is nice and sturdy. I pull it apart and make sure that those hooks that the hardware have actually grabbed onto the fabric and everything is nice and solid. So once again, you decide where you want it, make sure it's all even and centered, close it up nice and tight, and then you're all set to go. These are available in my TikTok shop down below, so have fun shopping or have fun making them on your own, you guys.